Okay, so I had heard people saying that Jim Carrey was sharing the gospel and that he was a Christian now. And to be completely honest, just like with all the other celebrities, I'm like, probably not, but I'm gonna go check it out anyways. And that's not to say that the Lord can't change celebrities. He can. To be honest, I'm worried that maybe there's nobody out there actually preaching the gospel because every time they share something, it always sounds like I don't know what it is, but it's not the gospel. It's adjacent to something a Pentecostal would say instead of saying the gospel. But I did kind of want it to be true, because I mean I should want it to be true always, but I'm just saying this time it felt a little more special because it was Jim Carrey. I mean, it's the man who did Liar Liar. And yes, even I'm not so uptight that I won't watch a movie because an 8-year-old makes a wish and it comes true. Yeah, that would be next level conviction right there. Like, not even that. No, I do actually have some stuff I will allow, and it has good morals. So it's a man who learns not to be a liar, to treat his family the way they should be treated, and to, I mean, fight for his family. So, like, yeah, it's a good movie. Um, but the thing is, what he shares as the gospel, and I don't know. I want to give him like a pass and be like, I can't give him a pass. It's just not how it works. You can't share a different gospel. And this is definitely a different gospel. So without further ado, here is Jim Carrey's gospel.
Leave darkness behind. And it takes a champion to make that decision. And I really want to speak to the fact that I've had some challenges in the last couple of years myself. And ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation.
Okay, so I just want to pause here for a second before we go any further and say that your suffering is not what leads to salvation. What leads to salvation is accepting that our holy, perfect Lord came down, lived a perfect, sinless life for us, went and died on the cross, paid the penalty for you and me, and then we repent and believe in the Lord. And we are saved through His sacrifice alone. That's what saves us. I just want to put that out there before we go further because that is not what he's about to say.
And in fact, it's the only way that we have to somehow accept, not deny, but feel our suffering and feel our losses, and then we make one of two decisions. We either decide to go through the gate of resentment, which leads to vengeance, leads to self-harm, which leads to harm to others, or we go through the gate of forgiveness, which leads to grace. And your being here is an indication that you've made that decision already. You've made the decision to walk through the gate of forgiveness to grace, just as Christ did on the cross. He suffered terribly, and he was broken by it to the point of doubt.
No. My God, why have you forsaken me? Is actually a psalm. And he was pointing, even then, even in his suffering, to who he was. So no, he wasn't having doubts. That's not what was happening.
And a feeling of absolute abandonment, which all of you felt. And then there was a decision to be made. And the decision was to look upon the people who were causing that suffering, or the situation that was causing that suffering, with compassion and with forgiveness. And that's what opens the gates of heaven. So I wish that for all of you. I wish that for myself. I know that, no matter what I've suffered, most of you have suffered worse than that. But that's why I admire you, because you're here. And you will have grace, because this decision's been made.
Here's the thing. It's a lie with a little bit of truth, because obviously you do have to forgive. It's the hardest part about being a Christian, is you have to forgive everybody. And you forgive everybody because Christ forgave you, and you're not perfect, and even the perfect Lord forgave you. The thing is, if you forgiving others is not the point of the gospel. And when he talks about darkness, he's talking about the things you've been through. When the truth is, you're the darkness. You're the thing that has to be changed by the perfect God. So the thing, it's just a different gospel. And it sounds pretty, and they had beautiful music behind it, but the reality is that that's not the gospel. The gospel makes me cry. Okay, I get mad all the time, but the gospel's different. It reminds me that I'm not perfect and that I need to be forgiven. And yes, I'll forgive others, but that is not the point of the gospel. The point of the gospel is the kindness of the Lord, how perfect and holy he is, and his standard is righteous and just, and he will not do unjust by people. So he came here and he died for us. He lived perfect. He died for us and made a way for us to be with him. That's what the gospel is. Please don't ever let somebody take you from that. That's all I'm saying.